Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Bay. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today we're taking a look at some more comic books with Malibu Comics Ultraverse, The Nightman. We've looked at a few before. We've gotten this far in the series. We're up to issues 17, 18, 19, and 20. Very near the end of the line, actually. I think, if I remember right, this series ran out at issue 23. I can't remember exactly. It was 23 or 24. Really wish we didn't have to see that weird odd nipple sticking out on the cover here, but Nightman is kind of known for getting his ass handed to him most of the time. He does win his battles, but he does take a thrashing. This is February 1995. Sorry, I shifted. I'm slightly out of breath. I got like a pulled muscle. I hate that. I get in front of the camera and I'm like, ugh. I'm all out of breath. It's like, why? Oh, muscle strain. I got a bad back. Give me a break here. So our art is really starting to bounce all over the place. The first 10 issues of this book, 13 issues, I'd say, the art is solid and stable. And then we start passing it around to different people, and it starts to get really sketchy. I think it's because the rumblings are clear through the company that they're going under. Marvel's buying them out, and so a lot of your top tier talent is probably jumping ship or looking for work elsewhere, which is sad. But you know what? I get it. I've worked at places that you know you're going to change hands, and so, well, you know what? It might be time to jump ship. I get it. But in this case, it really did, the art really did suffer for it. Because this is, I mean, it's serviceable. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad stuff. Is it the best that I've seen from the series? Absolutely not. It's pretty rough. And it ends up kind of, you can tell it has a look of being rushed. Just in the backgrounds. Kind of how they're devoid of texture and color. It really does have a more rushed appearance to it. Yeah, kind of weird. I wouldn't have said that with most books, but this one does have like something of a rushed feel to it. These pages are glossy, and at this point Ultraverse was bouncing around on that. Some of their issues were paper, some were glossy. A Nightman costume, very nice. Don't forget, he had his own TV series where he actually looked about like that. So yeah, we're wrapping up a lot, and enough said, true believer. This is a pretty good indication that Marvel has already got their hands on this company's throat. You've got Godwheel going on, which had Thor. You've got a Thor advertisement. Loki is appearing in Hardcase. Solution 17, that's the last issue. Prototype 18, I believe that's the last issue. 1 of 4 Elvin, that's the series starting. Yeah. Hardcase run to 26, so we know we're within 6 months of the end of the line before everything closed down. With the event known as Black September, I believe it was. And that was pretty much the end of the Malibu Ultraverse. A very small handful of titles did appear in the Marvel Universe, and I will cover those. I've already covered like the Mantra series, and maybe a few issues of Nightman. I do have a full set of Prime from the Malibu, from the Marvel series, Volume 2. But anything that was produced, Malibu Comics, or Ultraverse, I should say, post-Marvel buyout through the Marvel Universe, those are extremely rare. They're not valuable. They're just hard to find. They weren't made in high-run volumes. They were sold cheap to try and get readers on board. And most of them were abandoned less than, 4 to 10 issues in. I'm trying to think if anything lasted more than 10 issues. I don't believe so. Most lasted less. I want to say like 8. So less than a year after Marvel bought the Ultraverse and started putting the books out and digging through it, Basically nobody was left. They ended up, I guess they bought it, but then kind of just scrapped all the characters, never did anything with it. Not used to this particular outfit. The red stripes is a new addition. I think you can get a figure that reflects that because they did make a couple of these figures. But yeah, you can see the outfit has changed from what it was to, I mean, kind of a jogger looking outfit. Oh boy. Vengeance of Death Mask. So Death Mask is back. He was one of the first villains that the Nightman ever came across. Let's see, what's going on this month? Ultraverse, Prime 20. I know Prime wraps up, I think, with issue 26. Freaks number 18. That's the last issue of Freaks. I'm almost positive. I think that's the last issue of Firearm. Yeah, a lot of these series wrapped up shortly after that. I also noticed the book feels very thin. So, like, even though they did glossy pages, it doesn't feel like there's quite as many, and it feels like a very thin book. I don't know what the deal is with that, but the paper is very, very thin. Yeah, so the Return of Death Mask. I don't understand how he hasn't just killed this guy. He's taken out much more powerful enemies at this point. I would think that this guy would be like fairly easy to dispatch. I mean, you are using pistols, Nightman, so you should have an edge on the Batman here. Just cap this guy. I think, if I remember right, because this was the last, we knew we were running out of time. I think they wanted to bring this hero back, or this villain back, and have the hero actually be done with them. So, if I remember right, he dies in this. If I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he actually kills this guy. And that's good. They needed to wrap up the villain. Yep. Otherwise, he would just be like left wandering out there. Prime versus the Incredible Hulk. I still get excited when I see stuff like that because I remember how optimistic I was to see the Ultraverse pulled into the Marvel Universe, and yeah, how tragic that ended up for the Ultraverse universe and all of your Malibu characters. Nightman, featuring the fight to the finish, because with the book ending, he's got to wrap up and close out his villains. This Dragonfly lady, we certainly got to get her dealt with. We never did, I don't think we ever close up the story or wrap up the thing with Rhiannon, or whatever her name was, the werewolf vampire lady. But we certainly wrap up a few of his other villains and characters, which I appreciate that they went through the effort to kind of wrap some of these up. Even if it does feel a little rushed, like it's like, oh man, we're almost out of Nightmans to make. Let's just let's tie up any loose ends with his villains and finish it out and close it out. You know, I respect that they did that. It is a little sad because that really does give it a finality, which is kind of sad. But I'd rather that than leave it all open-ended and never tie it all up. So I guess one way or the other, it is what it is. I do feel like it was rushed though. And that was the only thing that I really didn't care for, was it really does have a feel of, all right, we need to finish this off. Put it in, wrap up that storyline. It seems like something maybe you would have kept these villains around and maybe had them show up once a year or something. Whereas, okay, we got to bring them back just so we can close out the series. And that's a little sad. Also, I never realized how floppy and thin these issues are. They just feel like really, really weak. Like I have paper books from the 80s and 70s that feel a little more rigid than these. These have a very floppy feel to them, but either way. Anyway, that's it. We've only got about one more video of Nightman stuff to do, and then the series is over. They wrapped it up. And I've never watched the show, so I don't have much else to say. But that's those 4 issues. I appreciate you guys watching as we get a little bit closer to the end of the series, and thanks for sticking with it. If you want to see any of the others, go back and watch. I got all the rest from Nightman 1 through current. These, if you want to see them. Anyway, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.